the spoon for the mashed potatoes fell on the floor.
Oh,
And she picked the spoon up off the floor with a little bit of.
Did you know every time you celebrate Thanksgiving, you are giving your energy to a dark ritual rooted in genocide?
but did you guys hear about that lady who castrated and ate her husband on Thanksgiving?
I want to talk about it. First of all, you got to remember, my dear brother, that's history, his story. It's not our story.
His story.
Please, I don't have any time for any gossip now. Eh? Yes.
Look at you.
Something with it.
It's just money coming to me easily. Money coming in and needing me. Money coming in repeatedly. Money coming, this is money coming. This is money coming to me frequently. Money coming in to be with me. Money coming in secretly. Money coming, this is money coming. This is money coming to me always. Money coming in all day. Money coming in all paid. Money coming, this is money coming. This is money coming to me frequently. Money coming in to be with me. Money coming in secretly. Money coming, this is money coming. This is money coming to me easily. Money coming in and needing me. Money coming in repeatedly. Money coming.
Hey y'all, welcome back to All Things Jenny. I'm Jenny. Happy Thanksgiving. I hope you guys are enjoying your Thanksgiving so far. If you're still cooking, I hope you are enjoying cooking. And also if you're eating your food with your family, I hope you enjoy your food. And if you're watching this video after Thanksgiving, I hope you enjoy the video. But guys, let's get into these stories because they are crazy. Let's get into the first.
Hey y'all, so I have a Thanksgiving story for you. So this was around the time, the first year that me and my ex moved to Florida, right? So for Thanksgiving, I had something to do that I needed to stay like in Florida. And my ex, he went back home to North Carolina, right? Because he wanted to spend Thanksgiving with his family. Cool. So one of my friends invited me to go over to her house for Thanksgiving. Okay, cool. So this was the celebration where everybody brought a dish or whatnot. So I had brought some deviled eggs, and I think I bought a dessert. So while I was there, tell me why the spoon for the mashed potatoes fell on the floor. And she picked the spoon up off the floor with a little bit of mashed potatoes on it and let her dog lick the spoon. And then throws it in the sink to be washed to put back in the bowl of mashed potatoes. I did not eat. I did not eat at all. I was like, girl, for real? So, it was like towards the end of the Thanksgiving meal. So everybody started cleaning up or whatnot. Still didn't eat, y'all. I was hungry as hell. But either way, everybody cleaning up. She washing dishes. She's like, oh, you want to take a plate home?
Oh, no.
No, thank you. I was like, no, thank you. I'm good. I was like, my ex, he went back home. He bringing me a plate. His mom cooked. You know, I'm good. So, y'all, when I got home, tell me why I was hungry as hell.
I bet.
All the stores was closed. Like, you couldn't go to the grocery store. You couldn't get nothing to eat. I think the only thing that was open was McDonald's. And I really didn't want to eat McDonald's. So, I had begged my ex, please stop somewhere on the way and bring me some food. But it was funny. So, I called my aunt, and I was like, dog, I was hungry for Thanksgiving. Like, I can't believe she did that. And so my aunt was like, I don't care who house you go to. I don't care, like, who invites you over. Always make sure you got something on your stove that you cook. Because you don't know how people cook. You don't know what they got going on at their house. Since then, that has been law. If I'm not going home to be with my day ones, like my immediate family, best believe I'm gonna have something on that stove for me if I'm going to your house. Especially if I don't know how you cook. Y'all, that was crazy, but that will never happen again. It will never happen again. I learned my lesson from that. I was like, no, I was hungry that whole day. That was like one of the craziest Thanksgivings I had. I had no food, like no nothing.
Now see, this is why I can't eat at everybody's house. And also this is why I do not like to join the whole potluck at work situation. Because what do you mean she let her dog lick the spoon and then put it in the thing? Ma'am, you should have eaten your eggs. That would have been the only thing I put in my mouth.
Okay, so it's Thanksgiving time, and I got a little funny throwback Thanksgiving story from back when I was a freshman in college. This one is kind of funny, a little bit embarrassing, but I'm grown now. Now I can talk about it. Long story short, when I was a freshman in college, I ran track and I was in the track group chat. It's Thanksgiving Day, and the coach asked everyone, let's post our Thanksgiving plates. And here's the funny thing about this. See, I'm not American, I'm African. And for us, we don't do Thanksgiving like Americans. We eat our traditional foods. So I had cassava leaves, I had rice, plantains, some other stuff that most Americans don't even know of. And I'm like, man, I don't want to post this because I'm gonna be for real. Like, this is kind of embarrassing. You know what I mean? Everybody got turkey, got mashed potatoes, sweet potatoes, all the traditional Thanksgiving American meals. And if I post this, they'll be like, yo, what are you eating? You feel me? And African food looks different from American food. You feel me? Like, some of our greens are cooked with peanut butter, and it gives off a weird look. Let's be honest. I'm not even gonna lie. But I didn't want to post that stuff because I was ashamed. So you know what I did? I went on Google. I typed down American Thanksgiving plates. Man, I looked for a plate that looked like it came from an iPhone. So like, I looked for images that looked like someone took it and posted on Google. I downloaded that thing and I posted in that group chat. Boy, oh boy. When I think back on it, man, it was embarrassing. Trying to think fast, because the reason why I even felt peer pressure to post it was because I was the last one to post their plate. Everyone posted their plate, and then now people are like, oh, like, dang, did you not eat for Thanksgiving? The whole time I'm eating good. The only thing is it's not American. I just don't want y'all to question. I just don't want people knowing, like, oh, yeah, he eating something. You feel me?
I don't see why
But
you had to do that.
yeah, funny.
Now I have heard it all. People eating other people and all of these crazy things. But did you guys hear about that lady who castrated and ate her husband on Thanksgiving? That is bizarre. And she looked so pretty too. She was so cute.
Castrated and ate her husband on Thanksgiving Day. Almost Thanksgiving, so let's talk about some families who maybe haven't had the best Thanksgivings in the past. So we're starting off with Omaima Nilsson. She was only 23 years old and a model. This is Bill Nilsson, this is Omaima Nilsson, and they got married just less than 30 days before this event. Bill and Omaima were newlyweds, and things just kind of took a crazy turn on Thanksgiving Day. Bill had prepared a giant feast for the two of them on Thanksgiving because none of his family was going to come because they didn't quite support his new marriage of his 23-year-old wife, who he proposed to 2 days after he met her, and then they shortly after got married. Mama says at the morning of Thanksgiving that Bill essayed her, and she was not very happy about it. Now, this part does get a little gory, so this is your little graphic warning. After the essay, Omaima was not very happy, and she took the lamp on the side of their bed and threw it at him and kind of knocked him unconscious for a second, and then she ran and got their iron and bludgeoned him to she then castrates him. Doesn't just stop there. Tells her psychiatrist later on that on that day she cut out his ribs and smothered barbecue sauce on them and stuck them in the oven. She admits to eating those ribs. She then admits to trying to dispose of his body through the disposal. Neighbors have corroborated that the disposal in the sink was running for hours and hours on Thanksgiving Day, and Omaima has admitted that she tried mixing up parts of his body with the turkey and pushing it down the drain. She also had many other things which I will not mention, but she just kind of left Bill everywhere and she was unable to dispose of his body. Then she started going to all of her ex-boyfriend's doors and asking them for help to dispose his body. By the time she'd gone to the third or fourth boyfriend, he said that he would help her dispose the body, but he had to go grab his coat or something and then went and called the police. He then went to trial and was of course found guilty. And here's the interesting thing. She is eligible for parole in 2026. That is next year. She was denied her last parole hearing, which was a couple years ago, but she could be getting out on parole, which is absolutely insane. And this horrible thing that happened to Bill wasn't the first horrible thing she had done. Be careful this Thanksgiving. Treat your wives nice, treat your husbands nice, and follow along as we go through more things that have happened on Thanksgiving.
Now, even though Thanksgiving is considered a day to give thanks, to spend time with your family, and enjoy your family, enjoy good food, which is all nice and all, but let's not put sugar over the history of what Thanksgiving is and how it all started. So I know you've been watching all these crazy stories that happen on Thanksgiving, but I believe that day is it's like there's a dark cloud that hover over Thanksgiving. There's so many things that happen, so many dark things that happen during Thanksgiving. It's very crazy. So this man telling the story of the true origin of Thanksgiving, which I always knew, because I did a lot of research on it, but this man sound like he talks as if he was, his family, or he was around, or his family experienced some of this, and I cannot take away from this man's experience. It sounds very, very harsh what actually happened on Thanksgiving and why it's.
If you want to talk about how Thanksgiving came about.
I do want to talk about it. First of all, you got to remember, my dear brother, that history, his story, it's not our story.
His story.
When they proclaimed Thanksgiving, it was in Mystic, Connecticut, a tribe of Indian people, the Pequots, that were thriving and surviving. But shortly after, we taught these white people how to farm and how to take care of the land and raise food. They got beside themselves.
Don't they always?
A few years after they started prospering, they decided that they were going to take their women and their children out too.
They're always taking women and
A
children.
big field. And have a cookout celebration. No Indians brought deer. There was never a Thanksgiving dinner with them, according to what they say. Not true. The celebration of Thanksgiving was the men walked off from their families and went further north into Mystic, Connecticut, and he murdered these Pequot Indian children, elders, women, and men. Got them in the enclosure of their habitat. They had built forts, per se, but that was only for the protection of their people. And they trapped them in where they couldn't get out. And they set it on fire, and they burned them to death.
Disgusting.
Then they came back. They were so thankful that they had killed these Indians. But that was the first Thanksgiving, not what you read about in their books.
It wasn't until when President Lincoln decided, instead of having it every other day when they were going to different tribes, killing them, that he decided to make it once a year, a day of Thanksgiving once a year.
True. But let me tell you about President Lincoln.
So much for giving
Because
thanks, huh?
Indians, the Dakota, and Nakota Indians wouldn't give up. These are the people from Minnesota, North Dakota, South Dakota, up in that area. They were fighting, and they captured in excess of 200 of them. And they wanted to hang them all. But Lincoln intervened, and he said, no, I don't want you to hang them all. Pick 38 of them. And that's how they came up with the Mankato 38. That was the largest mass hanging ever in this country.
If you want to talk about how Thanksgiving came.
Did you know every time you celebrate Thanksgiving, you are giving your energy to a dark ritual rooted in genocide, conflict, and blood? People that are knowledgeable about indigenous spiritual practices are well aware that offerings are often given to ancestors and other deities as a form of gratitude or to ask for their assistance. When these offerings are given, the ceremony is called a ritual. When you purchase a turkey and other groceries to prepare for this tradition, you are participating in a ritual. When your family gathers at the table to take part in these traditions, you are participating in a ritual. Although you may have a clear vision of all the things you are thankful for, and you may even have your own reason for celebrating, what really matters is the original intention that was set for this holiday. Who are you really giving thanks to, and what are you really giving thanks for? In order to answer these questions, we need to go back to the 1600s, when the Pilgrims of Plymouth, United Kingdom, landed on the shores of Cape Cod, which is modern-day Provincetown, Massachusetts. It is said that they set sail seeking economic and religious freedom in the New World. The first time that they arrived, they left with hundreds of enslaved natives, and they left behind smallpox. The native inhabitants of that area consisted of various tribes, including the Wampanoag people and the Pequot people. They were there for over 10,000 years before the Europeans arrived. The Pilgrims began to build their settlements, but they were not doing so well. They lived in dirt-covered shelters with a shortage of food, and many of them died due to illness and harsh weather. The natives that were there, specifically a man named Squando of the Wampanoag tribe, helped them, and he taught them how to plant crops, including corn, as well as where to fish and hunt. As a child, we're taught that the Pilgrims created this feast called Thanksgiving to show their gratitude to the natives for teaching them how to live off the land. But this, like many other things taught in school, is only partially true. They don't tell you about the Puritans, who are also from England, that came after hearing of the success of the New World and started warring with the Pequot tribe over their land. They were enslaving and killing the native people left and right. Massacres were taking place every day, just like Columbus did to the Arawaks, and just like Leopold did to the Congolese, and many more. It's the same story in a different location. Every time they successfully destroyed the people of these tribes, they would have a feast and give thanks. They were celebrating the victory of murdering your ancestors, and every time you sit down to celebrate Thanksgiving, whether you realize it or not, you are doing the same. Anyway, Squanto tried to get the Pequot and the Puritans to sign a peace treaty, but the Pequot declined. They fought to keep their land and their dignity. The Pequot War was one of the bloodiest Native American wars ever fought. In 1637, near present-day Groton, Connecticut, the Pequot people gathered for their yearly Green Corn Festival, which was their version of Thanksgiving. In the late night hours, the English and Dutch forced the sleeping natives out of their homes and proceeded to beat, murder, and enslave their men as their women and children stood by and watched in horror. The next day, the governor of the Massachusetts Bay Colony declared a day of Thanksgiving because over 700 unarmed men, women, and children had been murdered. Motivated by their victory, the colonists and their native allies attacked village after village. Women and children over 14 were sold into slavery while the rest were murdered. Boats loaded with as many as 500 enslaved individuals regularly left the ports of what the Europeans called New England. Following another successful raid against the Pequot in what is now called Stamford, Connecticut, the church announced a second day of Thanksgiving to celebrate their victory. They hacked off the heads of the natives, and their heads were kicked all over town like soccer balls. The chief of the Wampanoag tribe was beheaded, and his head was put on display in Plymouth, Massachusetts for 24 years. These Thanksgiving feasts continued after every massacre until George Washington finally suggested that only one day of Thanksgiving per year be set aside. Later on, during the Civil War, Abraham Lincoln declared Thanksgiving a national holiday. Every year when you celebrate this holiday, this is what you're giving your energy to. Many of you will say that you're only celebrating for the food or to spend time with family and friends, not realizing that as long as you are putting energy into this holiday, you are taking part in their ritual. I challenge you to create your own day of gratitude, one that isn't rooted in murder. Set aside a day to have a big meal with your family and friends and make it your own family tradition. Let me know in the comments when you stopped celebrating Thanksgiving. And if you haven't, when do you plan to stop participating in this tradition of making a mockery of your people? As long as we continue to participate in their rituals, they will remain at the top and we will stay right.
I'm gonna say this once and I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. Thanksgiving is not a holiday that should be celebrated. Just like y'all be getting so mad about Columbus Day and we abolished that piece of shit day, we need to be abolishing this piece of shit day. Thanksgiving is a celebration of a genocide of indigenous people and should not be celebrated by nobody. And anybody that wants to say, oh, it's just a day for us to get together with our family, you can pick another day. You can pick another name, you can pick another ritual, okay? This is considered a national day of mourning for the indigenous people, because the true history of Thanksgiving, according to the Wampanoag and Pequot tribes, and what they celebrated on this feast and how it all went down, is the celebration of genocide, the celebration of enslaved people, of the taking of land, of rape, enslavement, torture, of wiping out and stealing from these tribes, taking everything from them, and then murdering and massacring multiple tribes across this country. And that's what the celebration, that's what they celebrated. I need y'all to get fucking mad, okay? I do not celebrate. I have not celebrated for years. And then on top of that, not that anybody gives a fuck about animals, but as an animal activist, I gotta speak the fuck up. Celebrating genocide with the genocide of a whole species of animals? Weird. I urge y'all to really look and just search up the true history of Thanksgiving from the Native Americans' perspective. Read as many different articles as you can. And then stop fucking celebrating. Yes, disrupt the dinners. Do not go to the fucking dinners. Do not, no. There's plenty of other things to do on any other day. You want to celebrate a day of gratitude, your family, pick another day, pick another name, pick another ritual, because, and even if it's Friendsgiving, it doesn't matter. You're celebrating the mass genocide of indigenous people, because this is the day, the way, the name, the settlers, the pilgrims, the English settlers did this. And so by doing what they did in the same way that they did, in the same name that they did, you were celebrating genocide no matter what you want to say about it. Okay? I don't care about nobody's opinions. I don't care about anybody getting mad or being uncomfortable. I'm not here to make nobody comfortable. Okay? Just like we do for any other fucking thing when it comes to fighting for justice of peoples, y'all need to educate and care about this. And I'm sorry. I know it's inconvenient because it's the day everybody has off and day people get together, day for food. I get it. It's comfortable. It's convenient. But that cannot be more important than justice, than fighting for bringing out the true history and the awareness of the true history of what this day is. That cannot be more important. That cannot be more important than an entire group of people's history being whitewashed from, when it's literally celebrating massacres and genocide and enslavement and stealing their land. I need y'all to give a fuck. Make people uncomfortable. Educate people. Stop celebrating this day. Stop. We all have to do the thing. And I really hope that over time we can abolish this day. And it really makes me mad. I'm sorry that I'm coming off very aggressive because it makes me mad. It makes me so mad. These are our peoples. If you're any type of anybody, even American, hello? Even if you're just American, you're not any type of brown, Hispanic, Indian, North or South Asian, anything, even if you're just American, you are on the land where it began. This all was not our land, just so y'all are aware. I need y'all to care. I need y'all to get mad. I need y'all to disrupt these things. I need y'all to spread the awareness. We cannot.
Well, a holiday that's supposed to be full of joy, there's so many crazy things that happen on Thanksgiving Day, Thanksgiving night. A lot of people are either fighting with their family, having a good time, and or unaliving their family. And as someone who has, I have this friend who's a cop. This man, every Thanksgiving, I always tell him to come by and take a plate. I always fix him a plate of food because I know he always works on Thanksgiving. Even though he's married, but his wife is, that's one of my good friends from high school, right? Nothing there, just friends. But anyways, this man will tell me stories about things, like calls he would get on Thanksgiving Day as a cop. And I remember one time he told me the story about this family, that one person in the family unalived the entire family in this small town that we live in. Unalived the entire family. When he got there was brain matters everywhere. I mean, it was so crazy and sad that literally the whole food was covered in body parts. Like, on Thanksgiving. This is supposed to be this amazing holiday. The empty seat at Thanksgiving dinner. Let's get into Reddit. Let's not meet Storytime. I need to say this before the year ends. I can't sleep through another November without unloading it somewhere, anywhere. You don't have to believe me. No one ever does. I don't even completely believe myself some days, but the smell never leaves my hand. even when I scrub. 3 years ago, my family gathered for Thanksgiving at my uncle's farmhouse in Pennsylvania. The house sat at the edge of the woods where cell services disappear and the shadows press against the windows like listening ears. 14 chairs were sat around the long wooden table, but there were only 13 of us. I remember asking, who is this extra chair for? My aunt smiled too fast. Tradition. No one explained further. Dinner was delayed because the turkey wasn't ready yet. The kitchen was locked. No one seems concerned. Kids played outside. The men talked about football in the den, but something shifted when the sun went down. The empty chair remained empty. Then around 7:30 p.m., 3 slow knocks echoed through the house. Not loud, not rushed, just deliberate. My uncle didn't ask for who it was. He simply walked to the door and opened it. No one stood there. But muddy footprints pointed inside. I'm not a religious person, but something cold ran through my body that had nothing to do with temperature. The air inside the house became thick, like breathing through wet cotton. The children stopped laughing. Every light flickered. The front door closed on its own. My uncle walked back to the table and said, "Now we can eat." That's when I noticed. The kitchen door was no longer locked, and the turkey was completely gone. In its place, a silver platter in the center of the long table was something else covered in cloth, something sharp, wrongly, too long, too narrow at the end. My aunt stood up and removed the cloth with shaky hands. It was not food. It was a coat, a family coat, a familiar coat, my cousin's coat, my cousin who hadn't arrived yet. There was a moment of silence that went on so long that my ears started ringing. Then my uncle said something that burned into my brain. Hunger must be earned before gratitude. One by one, my family sat down. 13 people. The 14th seat remained for someone unseen. Someone standing, someone breathing. I did not eat. I could not move. I remember trying to scream, but no sounds came out. I remember my mother squeezing my hands under the table so tightly that her nail drew blood. No one talked while they were eating. Not turkey, not mashed potatoes, not pie. I don't know how long I sat frozen. At one point, I blacked out. When I woke up, I was still in the same chair. The table was cleared. The house was spotless. That extra seat had been folded and removed. The family acted normal, as if nothing happened. But my cousin never showed up. No one ever reported him missing. They said that he moved away, but I knew that was a lie, because I found his phone. It was in the woods behind the house. Screen cracked, last picture open, a picture of the Thanksgiving table, 14 chairs, and someone standing behind mine. I have never gone back since, but every Thanksgiving, my phone rang exactly at 7:30 p.m., unknown number. When I answer, I hear breathing and plates and someone whispering, "Your seat is ready now." Now I have heard it all. People eating other people and all of these crazy things. But did you guys hear about that lady who castrated and ate her husband on Thanksgiving? That is bizarre. And she looked so pretty too. She was so cute.
Hey everybody, good Wednesday morning, the day before Thanksgiving, top of the morning to you. You may say, well, Eddie, I feel kind of weird this Thanksgiving. Well, you should. Lots going on. Probably somebody you loved died recently. I seen where my cousin Connie yesterday had her dog she'd had for like 15 years. I had to put her dog to sleep. So yeah, it's Thanksgiving. Y'all, Thanksgiving's weird. Yeah, it's a great time of celebration, and it's the biggest travel time of the year. Today's the biggest travel day of the year. But families are just scattered around, and people have recently died or died 5 years ago that you're still grieving, and it's just a lot of weird energies to me around Thanksgiving time. But anyhow, having said all that, go ahead and feel weird. Flow into the weirdness of Thanksgiving and enjoy what little bits of it that you can. Enough of all that, Eddie. The Morning Post this morning. I drove through Atlanta on a dark, rainy Tuesday eve last night. Tail lights glaring. I did a little video. Oh, it's a rainy night in Georgia. That song's very haunting, especially when you're sitting in bumper-to-bumper traffic in the dark and rain and taillights glaring. There was a homeless man standing by Boulevard at I-20, smoking a cigarette in the drizzle. I assumed it was his tent over on the side of the road, but it's best not to assume anything about a homeless person. My daughter Jill seems to be liking her new job that she started a week or so ago, working in a small place dealing with people with eating disorders. She made it from the time Savannah was born until Savannah is almost 14 as a stay-at-home mom, living off of the shop. And but she said she was going back to work because she was tired of just being broke all the time. It's hard to believe that an RN makes about $50 an hour. That's a lot of money to me. I never made that kind of money. She wants to go back to school and move on up to be a nurse practitioner, where she said she could make even better money. I think the break between her and Savannah, her daughter, my granddaughter, will be good for the two of them. The separation. The two of them, y'all, they can't even breathe without each other. Savannah won't go spend the night with her nanny unless, Mama, go with me. They just go together and do everything together. Heather has baby doll back with her for the next few days for Thanksgiving. The two of them FaceTimed me this morning, both of them in hog heaven, being back together again, all snuggled up under a blanket. Heather loves baby doll. Every child needs someone that is just batshit crazy about them and makes them feel like they're the king of the hill and loves them beyond measure. Yeah, baby doll needs that too. I had it with some people growing up. I see where my friend Joel down in Mississippi has himself a new puppy. Funny how this Facebook community, Joel used to live right up the street as a realtor, lived right up the street from me here in East Point. Oh, he bought him one of them big old fancy homes, you know, him and his husband on a lake in Mississippi, got a big fancy in-ground pool, living the good life, got him a boat. And so, you know what's weird about about this internet? Is whether people live, I don't see them no more when they live right there on the street. People can, Ava has a couple of friends who's hunting an apartment in Amsterdam. You know, they're posting online. Well, I won't see them no less in Amsterdam. No, we'll see them living here in Decatur somewhere. We're all connected by this. You want to see how your kids are doing? Look online. You'll find them. They'll tell you all about them. But anyhow, I see where Joel and his husband bought them a new little puppy, a little red standard poodle or doodle of some sort. And them dogs, I've had standard poodles for 30 years. Them dogs love water. I seen on the Facebook where it's already jumped in the swimming pool. And it got a big old lake right out there behind their yard, too. So, but you know what? When I've seen pictures of him and his puppy and seeing him post about it, y'all, think about this. Joy can also be bought, you know. And whether it's a puppy or a boat or a houseboat or a cabin in the mountains, joy can be bought. I know that seems odd, doesn't it? It seems that our friends in Ukraine are being sold down the river without a paddle. The Lord only knows why Trump is so determined to hand Putin such a victory and such a gift. Makes no sense. Makes no sense. I head over to the shop in a few minutes. Hard to believe that 2026 is breathing down our necks. Life is chaos and calm, all mixed together, all the time. I think it's always been like that for me. For you too. You know you got a lot of chaos in your life. Don't sit there. If you don't have it in your life, you certainly have it in your head. Much is said about a spiritual journey. People will say, oh, I'm on my spiritual journey, or when I started my spiritual journey. The spiritual journey began in the womb and goes on after the grave. There is no beginning nor end to our spiritual journey. It is just the crossroads of that journey that sticks out to us, those light bulb moments when we come to the realization like, man, there is no devil. I feel like I have been tethered to God my whole life. Sometimes I have dragged God along. Sometimes God has dragged me along. God is heavy sometimes. I'm sure I have been heavy to God sometimes. God is the breath of life. You know, Paul said, the gift of God is eternal life. If I was rewriting that to a more modern version, I would just say the gift of God is life. But anyhow, that's just me, a great writer and poet in my next life. What if we said the spiritual vibration of the universe is my shepherd and I shall not want? Or the Lord. I buy Boom Boom and Gracie a rotisserie chicken once a week, and I pinch it all up and I feed them something good. You know, I figure they should enjoy some good things that they love going through their lives also. They have such short lives, y'all. Plus, with Boom Boom being a Baptist, we all know how the Baptists, they love chicken, you know. Good Wednesday morning, sweet people. I hope my mama stops by Kathy's tomorrow while we all gather to eat. I'm sure she would love Baby Doll, and she would be so proud of Savannah and Chance. She would want Ava to paint her face up pretty like Ava's. Who knows? I may summon her. We have great power to do that sometimes. People don't try it, not because they think it's stupid. They don't do it because they think it may work. Maybe around Thanksgiving, we just stir up the dead. Peggy, Corrine Lottie, Granny Bratcher, my Uncle Aaron, my cousin Elaine, David, Patricia. I send this vibration, stir them up. Y'all go stand by your mama and your kids and all. Make us wonder, what was that? Yeah, stir up the dead. If you miss somebody, just walk outside and look up to the heavens. Say, I know you hear me, mama. I know you hear me, son, daughter. You better come and give me a hug. And when you feel that weird, otherworldly thing kind of touch you, don't be shocked that you called the dead up. Yeah, the picture over on my Facebook page. Me and my mama, Peggy, standing outside Captain Anderson's. We'd been out to Shell Island that afternoon. Mama had her short on. She looked like a Jazzy Belle. Love y'all.
Hey guys, I'm Jenny and this is Shameless Plug. So I want to tell you guys about my Crown of Success manifestation book with easy, simple rituals and spells to manifest a life of abundance in your life. And those spells are so easy, even a child can do it. So this book is filled with different spells that I've learned over the years from my family, passed down from grandma and everything. And also those are spells that I've actually tried and I know that they work. So this book not only teaches you step by step on the things that you can do that are so easy that a child can do it, but it tells you like the proper moon phase to use, alchemy, manifesting with numbers, numerology, and also the days of the week that best fit for this particular spell. So it tells you the timing of when to practice the spell, the days of the week, the moon phase. It shows you all the colors of the candles that you should be using and different planets. So for example, I show you like planet Jupiter is for Thursdays and the hours of the days that you should be doing the spell. So this is an easy road opener spell. So I know a lot of people like to do like different spell work, but if your roads are blocked, of course your spells are not going to work. So it's good to unblock yourself first and then start using the spell, especially with the new years and the new days to come. And also I have some amazing spells in here. This is a powerful quick money spell. So if you're in the bind for some money and you're just trying to get some money, and I even have some easy powerful spell to win Game of Chance. So if you are a gambler, now I don't promote gambling, but if you are a gambler and you're just trying to make some money and trying to make sure you win, these spells will definitely help you. It tells you the best days to do it. So it says the best days to perform this spell is on a Thursday, Jupiter day. Jupiter is the planet of good fortune, luck, and expansion. Jupiter is the best day to perform spells that boost luck and increase your chance of success in any game of chance or any money spell, period. It has a list of so many spells that you can incorporate in your life with this new year to bring prosperity. And I even put some bonus spells on here, which for Saturday is a day to do like protection work. So I have a spell for like send back to senders. So I put some bonus spells on here, and then a protection with Archangel Michael. So there's so many spells on here. Removing the evil eye spell, so you can remove evil eye in your money and also in your everyday life. New Year home blessing spell, and I know it's been a few days since the new year started, but you can always do a home blessing spell any days of the week. As long as you need it, you could do it. So anyways, guys, this is my book. It's called Crown of Success by Jenny, and it's available on Amazon, the ebook and also the physical copy. So please grab a copy if you're interested in supporting this channel. This is a way to support the channel and to support me as well for putting out, content every day for you guys. So enjoy. So I hope you guys enjoyed this book, and I hope you go and grab your copy, whether it's the ebook or the physical copy. I say have a physical copy, but it's really up to how much, your wallet and what you can afford. So anyways, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Mwah. This is a shameless plug, so just check out my channel, okay? Love you guys. Mwah.